Hello, how are you?
Hello, teacher.
Teacher.
Who is absent today?
Partojet is absent.
Okay. Let's start our lesson. Did you do your homework?
Yes.
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 Okay. At first, I check your homework. Alima?
The models of interaction of two-point charge. Why we see the correct answer.
Yes, that's correct. Ayşıldız?
Electrodes B, electric field.
Yes. Aydana?
The units of electric field is A.
Yes, right. Next. Muhammed?
Can I?
Energy characteristic of the electric field is potential. C.
Yes. Dilara, can you solve this problem?
The strange of electric field of charge Q at point P as 9 increase 10 to the power of 5 ampere C. What force does charge of Q first equals +1 experience if it's placed at point P? Answer B.
Yes, it is right. Ghaziza?
Scientific instrument used to detect the presence of electric charge on a body, maybe B?
Yes. Aydana?
What is the symbol of the charge shown in the figure? It's positive A.
Charge, yes? Right. Alima, it is your turn.
The unit of electric potential is volt. A.
Yes, it was. Well done. All is correct. Thank you. Well prepared. Now, let's start our new lesson. Today, you will study about capacitance and the capacitor. This is today's new word. Who can read? Ghaziza?
Capacitance sınırlı.
Yes. The second, the Muhammad?
Capacitor is condensator.
Yes.
Can I?
Okay, you can.
Farad is Farad.
And the last?
Can I?
Okay.
To storage, you know.
Okay. The name the aim of today's lesson is describe structure a capacitor and calculate capacitance of conductors. Now you need watch this video, I sent the link on Zoom chat. You can see the video on YouTube. You have five minutes. Okay?
Okay.
What's a capacitor? Well, this is a capacitor. Okay, but what's inside of this? Inside of this capacitor is the same thing that's inside basically all capacitors. Two pieces of conducting material like metal that are separated from each other. These pieces of paper are put in here to make sure that the two metal pieces don't touch. But what would this be useful for? Well, if you connect two pieces of metal to a battery, those pieces of metal can store charge. And that's what capacitors are useful for. Capacitors store charge. Once the battery's connected, negative charges on the right side get attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery. And on the left side, negative charges get repelled away from the negative terminal of the battery. As negative charges leave the piece of metal on the right, it causes that piece of metal to become positively charged, because now that piece of metal has less negatives than why the pieces of metal have to be separated. If the pieces of metal were touching during the charging process, then no charges would ever get separated. The negatives would just flow around in a loop because you've completed the circuit. That's why you want the paper in there to keep the two pieces of metal from touching. So capacitors are devices used to store charge, but not all capacitors will store the same amount of charge. One capacitor hooked up to a battery might store a lot of charge, but another capacitor hooked up to the same battery might only store a little bit of charge. The capacitance of a capacitor is the number that tells you how good that capacitor is at storing charge. A capacitor with a large capacitance will store a lot of charge, and a capacitor with a small capacitance will only store a little charge. The actual definition of capacitance is summarized by this formula. Capacitance equals the charge stored on a capacitor divided by the voltage across that capacitor. Even though technically the net charge on a capacitor is zero because it stores just as much positive charge as it does negative charge, the Q in this formula is referring to the magnitude of charge on one side of the capacitor. What the voltage is referring to in this formula is the fact that when a capacitor stores charge, it will create a voltage or a difference in electricity.
Okay. Do you understand this video?
Yes.
Who can tell me what is capacitance or capacitor?
Can I?
Okay, I don't know.
Capacitance is a property of an electric conductor, and the capacitors is a device that can store the electric charge. It have two pieces of conducting materials like metal that are separated from each other. Those pieces can store charge, and one of them are charged positively, one negatively. There are dielectrics between these two plates.
Yes,
That's all.
great. And who can describe a parallel capacitor?
C equal Q divided D.
Yes, this is formula. We can use this formula determine parallel plate capacitors capacitance. Yes. You can write down your copybook definition and formula. What is capacitor? What is capacitance? And its formula. Have you finished?
Yes.
Yes.
Who can tell me what is the unit of capacitance?
Farad.
Right.
Then Mohammed, please. What is the unit of capacitance?
Capacitance unit of Farad.
Farad, yes, Farad. Yes, Farad is the unit of capacitance. Okay. Now you should solve these problems. Alima and Muhammad Dilara is student B, and Ghaziza, that Isolus, and the other students, you are student A. Okay, Alima.
Okay.
Please read the problem. Alima?
Student B. How far away from each other would two metal plates to square meters in area each have to be in order to create a capacitance of 1 microfarad? Assume that the plates are separated by air.
Yes. Which formula do you use?
C equal epsilon times epsilon 0 epsilon A divided D.
Yes, yes, right. Dilara,
Yes.
can you read the problem?
Student A. 30 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 9-volt battery. A. Calculate the charge on the capacitor. B. How many excess electrons are there on the negative plate of the capacitor?
Which formula do you use? This one or this one?
In first, Q equals C, increase V.
Yes. Okay. You have 3 minutes to solve this problem. Have you finished?
Teacher, I have finished.
Okay. Who can tell me your result? This one.
Teacher, I have finished student B.
Okay, Alima, student B.
G equals 70.7 times 10 power of the minus 9.
Yes, that's correct. Student A?
Can I?
Okay.
Correct.
Q equals 27, increase 10 to the power of minus 5.
Yes, it is right. Okay, next. I will do. You will start this game. Are you ready?
Yes.
Read the question.
What is capacitance?
Yes. Can you answer? What is capacitance? Who can help Aydılız?
Can I?
Yes, you can.
A parallel plate capacitor consists of two parallel plates each of area.
Capacitance. C. What is C? Dilara, it is a definition of a parallel plate capacitance, capacitor. Yes. Alima? What is
Capacitance is the ability to store a quantity of electricity in an electric field.
Yes, it is right. Super. Next. Then Muhammad, it is your turn. What is parallel plate capacitor?
Can I say
Okay, Raziza.
capacitors? A capacitor is a device for storing electrical charge. It consists of two conductors
Yes.
close to each other, but not touching. A typical flat capacitor is a pair of parallel plates of area A separated by a small gap.
Okay. Oh, it's easy.
Can I?
Then Muhammad.
1 energy is
1
One.
amplifier equals
1 times 10 to the power of minus
power
6.
of minus
6.
6. It is nano.
Can I
Minus
answer?
9. Minus 9.
Yes, minus 9. Okay.
9.
This is problem. Who can solve this problem? Easy. It is easy. Who can solve? It is C, 300 nanofarad, and then it is V, 9 volt. You need to find charge Q.
Can I?
Okay, Dilara.
3 equals 10 to the power of 7.
Can you repeat?
3 increase 10 to the power of 7.
Okay, Q equals C times U. It isn't correct. Okay, next. Alina, what is the formula calculate capacitance?
What is the formula to calculate capacitance of parallel plate capacitor?
Yes.
C equal epsilon times epsilon 0 times A divided D.
Yes. Yes. Right, it's correct. Raziza, what is the assignment?
What is this CU capacitance?
Yes.
Can I?
I don't know.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay, I do this.
What is CA unit of capacitance is Farad.
Yes, it is right. One picofarad.
Can I?
Dilara.
1 picofarad equals 10 to the power of minus 12.
Yes. Last question, what is capacitor?
Teacher,
Okay,
Can
Mohammed.
capacitor are energy storing devices available in many sizes and shapes.
Yes. Okay. You have done a good role. Do you understand today's topic?
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
we understand.
Who can tell or who can give us your feedback? That
Can you repeat?
who can give me your feedback? Mhm. What do you understand? What do you
I learned what is the capacitor and I learned capacitor's formula.
Okay. And
I have learned that in the CI system of unit, the unit of capacitance is farad.
okay, right.
I understand terms and formula.
Other students, you can send me your feedback on Zoom chat. Okay, you can type there. Mhm. Oh, good. Others? Thank you. Today, you have done very good job. Thank you. See you